Greetings, everyone. So today we are going to start with the ninth experiment of the database management laboratory today. So it is named as database normalization. So in this we are going to look on to how to understand how to normalize the database to reduce or eliminate data redundancy. So data normalization is to store data. So it is an important process in database to help improve the data's efficiency and accuracy. It makes us easier to manage the data. It ensures the database is adaptive to changing to business needs. So there are a set of tasks given. So we look onto the tasks. Here, this is the first task to normalize the following table. So this is a given table. We have to normalize this. So we are going to create a table student. So first, uh, so this is the first normalization form. So we're going to create as a first normalization form. So here we give it as we insert the data. We create the table first, the roll number column, the name column, the subject column with the integer value, variable character value of range 50 and range 50. And here we insert all the values. So the first task is now complete. So the second task is to normalize the following student table to INF. I mean the first normalization form. So this is the table. So we're going to create a new table, student mobile first normalization form. So here we insert the ID integer. So the name of variable character combo with a limit of 1000 and mobile number with a variable character combination with a limit of 15. And then after creating the table, we're going to insert the datas. So the third task is to normalize the following table to second normalization form. So here, this is the code. So we create a table, student courses. We insert we create all the columns. So the primary key is, these two are the primary key. I mean, these two will be set as the primary key. So the second is to create a table course. So the course ID and course fee columns are created. So this will act as the ID will act as the primary key for this table. And so we insert ID, I mean the data into the two tables. Yeah, it is done. So the fourth task is to normalize the given table to the second normalization form. So we create the table teacher details. So we create two columns here. So this ID will be the primary key, will act as the primary key for this table. So the second table, we create another table to teacher what are the subject they handle. So this is the teacher. We create three, we create two columns. So first one consists of integers. The second one consists of combination of variable characters with a limit of 50. So both will act as a primary key for the for this table. So we given store data in this table. To store data, we have to insert the data. So we insert all the data into this. Okay, so now we have to normalize the following table to the third normalization form. So this given data we have to insert. So we create a table first, employee projects. So we create three columns. So the ID will act as the primary key for this. And we are going to we'll create the second table. So this will contain the project details. So the project ID, we create two columns, project ID and project name. So ID will act as the primary key, whereas name will act as the variable character. Uh, have the variable character combination of limit 10. So this will contain the name of the project. So we insert two details into two tables. So sixth task is to normalize the table to third normalization form. So we create a table. We create the table. So we insert two datas. I mean the two columns. We create two columns. Here we create the data. I mean the table, and we create two columns. And we insert the data into the two tables. This will insert the data into the first table. This will insert data into the second table. Seventh task is to normalize the table to BCNN. Uh, that is the fifth normalization mode. So we create the table, uh, agent company with with the two columns, variable, which consists of variable characters combination of limit 5 and save. So we create the second table, so the company product, which consists of two columns, and also the third table. So we insert all the values to the respective tables. Everything is done. Hopping on to the eighth task, we have to normalize the following table. Box tools. So we create a table, suppose, and we create two new columns. So this ID will act as a primary key for this table. And in the second table, we create a new table, student teacher. We create uh, two new columns, student ID and teacher ID. So the primary keys will be teacher ID and student IDs. The foreign key is teacher ID, which will reference to the student ID. I mean, which it will reference to the previous table's teacher ID. This primary key. So we insert data into the respective tables. The ninth task is to normalize the following table to fourth normalization form. So we create a table, student course. We create two columns. So the primary key to both will act as the primary keys. We create another table, student hobbies. Then we create two new columns. So both these columns will act as the primary key for this table also. So we insert data into the respective tables. So the 10th task is to normalize the given data to fifth normalization table. So, so we create a table, agent company. So we give two new columns and both will act as a primary key. So here we create the table and we create two new columns and both will act as a primary key. So we create the third table here. We create the two new columns and both will act as a primary key for here also. And we insert data into the given tables. So yes, the given queries are executed. So we see no errors here. So we've come to the end of this topic. Thank you.